Now this is podcasting. I'm your host, Macsrebo.
And I am your father.
Michael, or a.k.a. Macsrebo's dad.
So what are we doing here?
So we're talking about how I got into Star Wars and how I'm a huge fan. And really what's leading up to this.
And what's leading up to this? Okay.
Yeah, because then we could talk about like different Comic-Cons that we did in the past, what groups we did, my favorite, like anything really.
Okay.
And also, before we get into everything, if you have any socials like YouTube, well, you were seeing this on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, anything else?
Probably anything out there.
Yeah, anything except for Twitter.
Except for Twitter.
Yeah, because Threads is like Twitter, so we don't have that.
Yeah. But it's X now. Correct. But that just shows how long. Yeah, it's called X now.
Wow, I'm old.
But anyway, so we are here on our first episode of the podcast.
But I had some podcasting experience from going on other people's podcasts.
Yes.
So I have just background knowledge of podcasting and all that.
Right. You were a guest on some. You've been listening to Pot of Rebellion.
Yes.
Which is a podcast with
the Rebels crew.
With the Rebels crew from Star Wars Rebels, right? It was a rewatch. But, we were talking about this and you're like, I want to start a podcast. Right? And then we were like, what are we going to talk about? And so we started thinking about it and saying, okay, here's some ideas.
Yeah.
Right. You have done a lot of videos, right? I think at this point you have over 50 videos on YouTube right now.
Yeah. I have more on Instagram because that's where I started.
A lot more on Instagram. Right.
Yeah.
So you have been doing a lot of videos. And what's great is, I like to label this episode the breakthrough.
I like that.
Because what it really was is what I want to talk about tonight is in this episode is how we watched Star Wars, right? Mommy and I, we watched Star Wars, a little bit growing up, right? We were both children in the 80s. So we had some exposure growing up around your age. And we were aware of that when Mommy and I started dating. They started coming out with the prequels. So we were at that age. We were teenagers and into our early 20s when the prequels started coming out. And so we, we're always fans. We were always fans of Star Wars. And then you come along, right?
And we went to Walt Disney World.
Well, even before that. Let's even start that, right?
I was a Vader baby.
What? So talk about Vader baby. Where did that come from?
Okay, so I love Vader's breathing sound, and I just loved Vader when I was a really baby, and my mom used to call me Vader baby. I used to steal her Vader things, and it was like this candy dispenser that made the noise, and then the candy would come out. So I would play the noise, like we had the candy in the bag. When you got it from the store, I had the candy in the bag, and so I just pressed the button so I can hear the noise over and over again. And then I loved Vader and I loved the Sith, and red became my favorite color, and now I'm all Sithy and Vader.
Okay. So you had that little toy and you had it everywhere. I don't think we have it anymore.
Yeah.
But so then so you were this little Vader baby, we called you. Okay, you love that the breathing sounds. Right. And then in 2019, 2019, Mommy and I
was 4.
You were 4.
I did the math in my head.
4 and a half.
4 and a half, yes.
Okay. Mommy and I decided, hey, let's go down to Disney.
Yeah, Walt Disney World.
Well, we wanted to make sure, we were always talking that it's always great to go to Disney when you can experience it, when you can remember it,
but
when you can walk the park.
Yes, walk. Instead of being a stroller the whole entire time.
You were in a stroller, but we wanted to make sure that, you could walk, almost all day, right? Because we are the type of family that we go in parks all day long, right? We had a little technical difficulty there. Okay.
Yeah.
So we go to the park, 2019, right? This is your 4.5.
And
We go
Galaxy
down to
Edge.
Disney for a total of 7 days.
I don't remember that.
It
Oh,
was a
yeah.
week. Yes, it was a
Yeah.
week, right? So at that time, mommy's a teacher. Mommy was a teacher, is a teacher. But at the time that we went, right? And I worked for a university. So we
Yes.
had off that week. You were off,
I was off because I was in
right?
school.
4.5. I think you were in preschool
Yeah.
at the
preschool.
time. And so we go down.
And this is so Galaxy Edge opened, but we usually, if there's like a new park, a new part of like the theme park,
Mhm.
we would like go like a few months after, so there isn't a big crowd. And so when I was 4.5, I was big into princesses and everything. But you guys introduced me to the Galaxy's Edge and all the Star Wars. And
Right.
there is like this part in
But I even think before we went into Galaxy's Edge, I think we went to the launch pad area.
yes, that's what I was talking about. And there is Vader that you can take pictures with. And
There was
so
Vader. There was
yes,
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
Right.
Yeah, and then
I remember seeing Rey
yes,
walking around. Or no. No, probably not. I don't think. Yeah, 2019 she was not a character that was introduced yet. So no.
but well, actually, in Disney Springs, we went to Disney Springs, and they were actually have this movie theater in there, and so they were actually like showing what they
Right. Correct.
like I was
Correct. She was there.
she was there,
So
but you didn't see her in the launch pad area.
no, you didn't.
But we went to see Vader, and we took a family photo. And after you guys went off, I stayed there next to Vader. And then she's like the person that was taking the photo, she's like, you can go. And mom was like, oh, I think she wants a photo by herself with Vader. And she's like, oh. And so they took a photo, and I'm just there with my pork that goes on your shoulder, like the shoulder buddies. And I had him in my hand, and I took a photo with Vader. So that's one of the reasons why I'm a Vader baby. I always go to the dark side and never first the light.
Right. Red is your favorite color.
Yeah, red is my favorite color. I'm always Sithy. I do want to force choke everybody. So yes, I love the Empire.
So right. So we went. Right. So we go to the launch pad.
Yes, we
Right.
do.
And I mean, it was a fun experience for all of us, for the whole family.
'Cause that's my first time waiting online to take a photo with anybody. And
Right.
now that prepares me for the future to go to Comic-Cons and take pictures with the actual Darth Vader and Anakin, Hayden Christensen, and also Obi-Wan Kenobi and McGregor.
And we definitely, and looking ahead, what we want to do with this podcast is we want to talk about, right, the whole part of the point of this is to show the family experience, but also show you as a kid, you as a young Padawan,
the KPOV,
the K-pop,
kids'
the
point
kids'
of view.
point of view,
Because
K-pop.
there's a lot of things for grown-ups to do at Comic-Cons, but there's also things for little kids to do at Comic-Cons. And also, I recommend if you want to start going to Comic-Cons, do a local small con near you, and then get bigger and bigger throughout the years. And I know for the biggest one that I've been to, it has to be near a Comic-Con. And I love that one, even though it was like packed and you like barely can walk like
And
one
we'll definitely
step.
talk about that in a later episode.
Yeah, in a later episode.
And right, and cosplay. You dress up as we'll talk about again in later episodes. We'll talk about how you dress up as various characters.
A lot of characters.
A lot of different characters, but we'll talk about the origins. We'll talk about where you first started, how you first
that's also
started.
going to be in that episode how I started getting into like the Comic-Cons and everything and being a Star Wars lover.
Right. And the experiences you had. So not just in the movies, not just at home streaming them, but also, the experience you have by going to cons, by going to theme parks, by, everything. If you think about every time you turn around, there's something of Star Wars, more likely. We go to antique shops, right? As a family, we love going to
there's
antique
like
shops when we're
Star Wars
traveling.
lunch boxes or lightsabers, like the flick ones. Now there's power sabers that you just press a button and it goes up.
Yep. The technology
The
has
new
grown.
technology.
10 years ago, it was like really not heard of people having light up lightsabers in their house.
Yeah. But now we have like a whole collection of them.
Right. Now Disney has it, Hasbro has it, and now you have all of these others like Theory Sabers has it, and all these other companies are making their own, right? So again, it's just it's evolved. It's beyond just the silver screen. It's beyond just
even though
movies.
there's even though there's like grown-ups now that they watched it when they were kids, like there's still like this younger generation because there's like these cartoons for kids that when you're like a little kid you can watch these Star Wars cartoons and you're just like, oh, these are cool, and they're actually figures and you can collect them even though Hot Toys are not for little kids.
Right.
But they're like these toys and everything that the newer generation can love. I feel like Star Wars should make more things for kids so they can get more of the population, more kids to come in.
Well, if you think about it, they came out with a lot of things, I think, over the last decade that has really been both for children and for adults. I think back at most recently Skeleton Crew.
I loved that one. That was a good one.
Mommy and I loved it.
I loved it.
You loved it. And even though the core...
And it showed how like kids really survived in the galaxy. Usually it's just like teenagers and grown-ups using lightsabers and fighting. Like, what are the kids' point of view?
How they survived without the Force and without lightsabers.
Yes. Well, actually, Neil and his friend, one of the main characters, did like a lightsaber fight when they were waiting for the bus to come. And like some of the kids that were waiting for the bus, they're like, what are you doing? And they're like,
Right. But there's definitely, a lot of stuff out there. We'll definitely get into, how we progressed in the Star Wars fandom and how, the things that we've watched and the things that we've gone to and attended and how that has helped us grow our love and passion for it and how we, at times reflect back at things that they did during the movie or during the animations, and we've taken that to life, and we have in some things changed our perspective about the way we see things. But what we love, what I'm really looking forward to in this podcast with you is really living vicariously through you like we have been for the last several years.
I like that, but also I want for this podcast, I want to get guests that I want to learn about. So let's say there's people in California and stuff, and I didn't really see them at Comic-Cons or stuff, but I know them through social media, and I would love to talk about how did you get into this? Like, what other fandoms do you like?
Absolutely.
I'm really doing my regular Mike and Macsrebo at Comic-Cons. That's also my podcast scene. I'm just interviewing them. If I love to do it on the podcast too.
Sure.
But also I'd love to talk about my past and maybe a little bit about your past and what you're hoping for. Because I know you usually do cosplays with my cosplays. The main thing why I have social media is my costumes and meeting celebrities, and then all my other stuff that I'm doing with deals and stuff, that's just an add-on, and that's not really what my social media was about at first, because it was first about photos or videos of me doing cosplay, and then there were so much things that are happening in my Star Wars life that I'm just pushing on social media. And also it's not just Star Wars, it can be other fandoms like Harry Potter, The Grinch, Dr. Seuss.
Absolutely,
or,
yes. Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel, K-pop Demon Hunters, that's big.
Sure.
But there's a lot of things that really I love more than Star Wars, but Star Wars is my main thing that I love.
That's your main bread and jelly?
Yes. But I don't like jelly. I like peanut butter. I like peanut butter, not
peanut
jelly.
Butter. Okay. So, right. So what we want to do in this podcast, we hope to bring on some of the cosplayers that
Yes.
bring them on as guests.
Or artists, too.
An artist,
because they're
Correct.
usually like, "Oh, I got into this by just watching like
But
blah
we've
blah
had
blah."
a lot of yes, a lot of artists, they look forward to seeing you
Mhm.
when we go to the different cons.
Yeah.
But, also the going back to the cosplayers, because with the cosplayers, it's such a great community,
They're
where
really nice.
they're really nice. They're
And
really
also like
nice
their
and
creativity. Like I one of my friends just like sews everything and makes things out of foam and stuff. And that just like blows my mind to like get just a fabric and foam and make it into like a masterpiece. Like I'm like, wow, that looks so cool and I love it. But what we usually do is just buy costumes or piece them together. And I also like that too. Because like if you like touch it up and make it look like it's a Star Wars character. I love that because you're taking something that just like an everyday thing, and having made this table too is we used orange juice caps and just spray painted them. Like that's just mind blowing when we
right,
did
and we
that.
would not have known to do that if it wasn't for watching YouTube
Yeah,
videos,
this guy like
right?
makes all
The
these.
smugglers room?
Yeah, the smugglers room. They make a whole bunch of cool things, and I just love it because that's just like thinking out of the box, making new things, or just reusing things, like how piecing things together. Like that's just reusing old
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
make them into better things. And
And going back and continuing with talking about how supportive they are, right? The smugglers room, right? They saw the video of you, making this. We were
yeah,
making this
well,
table
I wasn't really
together.
making it. I just was talking how I made it.
Well, yes, but you did help me. You painted,
I did
you
spray paint.
helped put
I
what
I
you wanted
said
up,
put I want to put that one
and
there,
you
and this
and you
table
screwed it. I
space.
mean, you for being 9, 10 when you were doing
I
this,
think it was like 10. I just turned 10
right?
because
So
I'm 10 and a half now. So, and that's a
right.
long
So
time
during
ago.
the summer, you did this, right? You
Yeah.
said, "Hey, I want this there." And all of these parts that were on this table, we pulled out of old
TVs, like
TVs.
motherboards and everything. I
Exactly.
can't believe I remember that because I always messed up on the video when I was talking about this. I messed it up. And like mommy boards or something like
Mommy
that.
boards. Yeah. Yeah. When they're
So,
motherboards. But right. But it's again looking at right the YouTube channel, the Smuggler's Room, and seeing how they inspired us to be able to do all this. So my point is that wherever we look, there's always a great supportive group of people
yeah.
that are somehow, whether they have no association whatsoever with Star Wars and Disney, but yet still have this love for the Star Wars themes and Star
Like
Wars.
galaxies and all that.
Exactly.
Even
And
though
and
like I love sci-fi type of things, and if you like sci-fi or action type of shows, we have something in common. And if we're friends, even though we don't like certain things, and we still have things in common, like we like to draw or like to do things, I was to be like friends and everything, even though we don't like the same things. But there's like a strong group of people that we have stuff in common. Because I remember at I think it was Rhode Island Comic Con, there was this podcast group, and they didn't know really much about Star Wars. And so, but we had something in common because I want to get into podcasting. You want to get all the right tools for the podcast.
Mhm.
And now we're actually starting this. It's pretty cool. And I was really excited to do this. So I'm like, I don't want to
Yeah.
film, but I'm like, oh, podcast? Yeah, I'm definitely in.
Yeah, because, the whole point of everything you do on social, all of the videos that you upload that you say, "Hey, I want to do a video on this
Mm-hmm.
and that," is because of the love that you have for not only Star Wars fandom, but everything else, right? Marvel
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
DC
Yeah, Marvel,
and
DC.
all of those.
Yeah.
But what's great about it is that, what we want to talk about on this podcast and in further episodes is, yes, we want to bring on some of our
Mm-hmm.
friends. We want to invite them, the individuals that are cosplayers,
Yeah, cosplayers,
individuals that are
artists.
artists.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or
Um,
maybe when we get to like the really good um podcast group, maybe we can have some celebrities come
that
up.
would be nice if
That'd
we
be one of
invited.
my goals to do is to get a celebrity on here that we know from Comic Cons, like Vanessa, Ashley, or any of those people
Sure.
that we know, and we can just talk about.
You're just putting them out there, huh? You're just calling them out right now?
Yes.
Okay.
So if we have this on YouTube, we can just send the link and send it to them. Just saying for the future, if there's a celebrity listening right now, and if you really want to talk about how you got into being an actor or actress and really starting your career, like how did you know, what was your first film that you act in or voice act, and really how you loved a fandom.
Absolutely.
And how you fell in love in this.
Right.
But we should really go to the topic how I got into Star Wars and how I got into cosplaying.
Well, we will. We will, right? So for sure. Because that's a whole episode in itself, to be honest with you.
But we started talking about it and how I love Star Wars. But then
we're giving a little taste, a little preview of what future episodes are going to be like.
Yes, but can I talk about my past?
Sure. This is your show.
Yeah, it is.
I am just here for support. This is mic'd up a Macsrebo podcast.
It's mine.
Okay, so
but
sure.
You're like my co-host.
Yeah. Yep. Co-host, your producer. Right,
your filmer,
mommy, and I are we are your support staff. But so
media group.
So media group.
You have a sign.
Macsrebo. That was Macsrebo Media Team.
Media team.
Yep. Okay.
But how I really after we went to Galaxy's Edge and seen all the Star Wars things.
Well, let's reflect back at that time because I know it's your show.
I just want to get to the good parts.
Well, we got plenty of episodes to do that.
I know,
okay?
but it's a lot of days. I want to get it done. One video.
No. Let's. Well, the thing is that to think back, right? I think back how when we went to Galaxy's Edge. We went to Galaxy's Edge and we were not anticipating what that really was going to look like. At least I didn't. I know that, it just come out a couple of months prior. We went in December. It came out in August. I know that they made this land. I didn't see many videos of it
So as you just said about videos.
Yeah.
Now what I do now is let's say there's an Epic Universe thing. I would go on YouTube, find any Epic Universe videos, and see what I can prepare for so I know what's coming up. And if there's a new ride, I will go and see that video and see what it's like. And you guys are like, no spoilers. But
no, because right. I mean, yes, we could do that. We could take a look at that. But I think that if I would have done that, I don't think that Galaxy's Edge would have had the effect on me that it did.
Yeah.
Because going through the tunnel and then looking and seeing just completely immersed with the whole environment, looking and seeing R2-D2 tracks on the cement.
Oh yeah, that was a really good, that was actually from the actual suit, the actual droid suit, and they just put the marks in.
And so it was wet cement or material, and they they drove the astromech through.
Yeah.
But going there, seeing this immersive environment, we went to the restaurants that were there, the stores that were there. Right, we ate at the they weren't sit down restaurants, right? But they had what was the one that we had the really nice breakfast at. It was right in it's
the Ronto Roaster.
Yes.
I couldn't think of it. I'm nice breakfast, but that was in the future when we went. I don't think we did it when I was young.
But it was there.
It was there.
It was there.
But there's nice places that are themed to Star Wars, like the Ronto Roaster, and there was this other one. It was a restaurant. It was a sit down.
No, not the first time we didn't eat because it was we knew we had to be all around. In fact, that same time we only went there one day.
Yeah,
right?
only one day.
We only went there one day, and we had, I believe, a lunch scheduled with Mickey and friends. And
I think it was
That was the day. So we only spent a few hours in Galaxy's Edge, maybe 2, maybe 3 hours at most. I think we went on a ride or two, but we did the Millennium Falcon. But that was it. Like, we couldn't even get in because it was so new. We couldn't even get into the
what was that?
what was that? The ride?
Mom, it was the with Ray and all that.
Rise of the Resistance. Yes. We couldn't get into that. A boarding pass, and you had to be like the whole family or the whole group had to be there like 7 a.m. to be able to get in. It was in such high demand. But that was Smuggler's Run was fun, right?
Yeah, that one was a good one. And now they're having updates.
And to think that we had no idea that years later we would meet one of the voice actors in Smuggler's Run.
Who is it?
Vanessa.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
That we would actually meet her in person.
Because now I remember when we went on it last year.
Yeah.
Or no, 2 years ago. Because 2026.
We went the last 2 years, but last year we were really paying attention and listening out for her.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, it's Vanessa.
Yeah.
She actually said that she was in the Smuggler's Run.
Oh, yeah.
And we were like, wait, really?
And she didn't, I heard her on Pot of Rebellion that she did not really change up her voice, her real voice.
Yeah.
Like she did a little bit. Her
voice sounds like Hera.
Right. And
so
she actually wasn't sure if she was supposed to sound like Hera or not. But yeah, it was very interesting. But anyway, so we're only there a couple of hours, right? We're only there 2 or 3 hours. I do remember seeing a show right by where they have like their Grumman theater, their Grumman Chinese theater that's there. There was a stage there, and I remember seeing Maul, right? Maul came out. It was a parade and all of that.
Oh, yeah, the parade.
Yep.
Yeah, we saw like a whole bunch of different characters there.
And on the stage, exactly. So, right, the point is that we were only in Galaxy's Edge for an hour or two.
Yeah, but I fell in love with it.
Fell in love with that. And
because there was the first, like, I saw Darth Vader there. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta see it. Oh,
nope, we didn't see Oga's Cantina. We didn't go in. We didn't go.
We didn't do the lightsabers.
No,
we didn't do the droid.
We didn't build a lightsaber. We didn't build a droid. Right. The lightsaber you built was in Disney Springs.
And now they moved. Now they moved to. Wait, did we do the Star Tours?
Well, so we did Star Tours. Now let's talk about Star Tours.
Oh, okay? I love Star Tours because now we're a big fan, and now we have one of those the original ones in our collection.
Yeah.
So
that thing's a beast. We have a nice video out on YouTube.
So if you go to my YouTube channel, I'll have a whole video on that. But yeah, I love Star Tours, and now they have
now
our future one that we went to. They had this new update with Ahsoka and the Purgles, and there's a whole bunch of other updates. So we went on to Star Tours for a lot of times, and my dad actually went with us, and she got her a bunch of times because there's like this area where you like go a certain way and you like get bumped, and so she got her. But also, I really wanted.
She didn't get hurt. She just bumped. That's yeah.
But
but she was okay.
She was okay. But I really wanted to get that Ahsoka and the Purgle thing.
Right.
And I'm like, no, I didn't get it. Wah.
Now, when Mommy and
But they have the lightsaber to build the lightsaber in there. So after you go to the Star Tours, you go out of the exit where there's a gift shop. And now they build lightsabers from the Disney Springs over to there. We usually go to Disney Springs before we go to all the other parks. And there's like all these places, and I remember there's a little spot where you could build a lightsaber, but it wasn't there anymore. And so it was moved over to Star Tours.
Yep, they moved it over to Star Tours. And do you know that when Mommy and I were your age, when we were growing up, Star Tours is the only thing they had.
Of Star Wars?
Of Star Wars.
What?
Yeah. So when we went, when we were little kids, and you had that huge AT-AT out front.
Oh, that was so cool. I love how it was the
And when we go in, now the thing is only until the last, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 years, it was pretty much the same show. So you only went once or maybe twice, right, to see
But
Star Tours
they
because it was
switched
the
with
same
different
thing.
planets.
But now, right now, there's a whole wide range. Right now, you could get Kylo Ren in there. You can get Ahsoka. There's so many different combinations of videos that ride has evolved. That we went last Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going. How many times at night did we go on that ride?
A lot.
I think between 10 and 12 times. We would go on the ride. We got out, went through the exit. We went back through the front again.
Because I really
And
wanted
we
that
just kept
Ahsoka.
going.
I really wanted that Ahsoka.
I know.
Because I love the prequels. They're space whales. And
Yeah.
also Ahsoka. She's one of my favorite characters. So, yeah.
So that was really great. Now, you have not experienced Disneyland, right? We have not been out
In California.
Yet.
Mm-hmm. Yet.
Right? Yet.
But
with her. Correct. We have not been with you. Yeah.
How dare you guys? Went without me before I was born.
Well, I was out there, but I don't remember Star Wars at all being out there. And I was very, very young. When I was out in Disneyland, I was very young.
Well, Disneyland is actually smaller than Walt Disney World. And also Disneyland has more characters because it's smaller, they have more characters. And I remember...
I don't think that's why, but yes, you are correct. They have, like, for instance, they have Luke.
Boba Fett.
They have Boba Fett.
Fennec.
And I think they have Ahsoka there. I don't think Ahsoka is in Disney World.
Nope, and they have Hera too.
And they have Hera?
Yeah, and they have Hera.
Okay, so...
And there maybe could be others too. I know they have Mando.
Mm-hmm.
But we also have Mando too. We saw him. There's like nobody there.
Right, but Mando was... I don't think he's full time. I don't think he's there all the time. I don't think he's in Disney World all the time.
I remember...
So we just so happened to see him last year.
Or 3 years ago, that we saw a little glimpse of Mando, the silver, and there's a big crowd there, and he was just walking back, and then the next time there's like no people there, and they were just walking past us, and we were just having our personal time with Mando, and then after we talked, there was a huge line to see him.
I wonder how he feels, because I know if I was Mando, to think that everyone really wants to see Grogu that's in my satchel, and not really wanting to see me, maybe? I don't know.
Well, he's actually, Grogu is older than Mando because he's like 50 years old or 60 or 70. Yes. Because Yoda's like 100 or like 1,000 years old and he could talk and he was a Jedi. Okay. And so because he's like small and a baby, I think he's 70 or 80 in the new Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Just saying.
So our producer, Mommy, just fact checked and said that yes, he is full time. Mando is full time in Orlando now.
Yes.
Does not have a fixed schedule. Random, but he is like, people may, they could expect him. Maybe not every day, but okay.
Yeah, so he is full time.
What she did say was that Mando is not set on a fixed schedule and that not even a fixed location, but could be walking around randomly in different parts. So that's good. So yes, the exit by there's a large door, right, where we saw him last year. So I guess that's, in the marketplace and in that area is where you can kind of see them because Rey you see walking. Like, we have seen her walking a lot. We saw her walking by the line for Rise of Resistance. We saw her by the Millennium Falcon. Yeah. We saw her by the marketplace.
Because their character is themed in that area, that like timeline. And so they're just walking around like Kylo Ren and the Shawn Troopers. They're just walking around. And also, like Chewbacca, he maybe be in one spot. Like for Life Day, he was standing in one spot. Like, that could be like, there's got to have a photo op here. You could have a choice to take photos with him. So, because there's like a crowd there, they could be easier instead of like seeing them walking around, that you just like asked to take a photo or take a video of them if you're like standing online or something.
I never picked up on that. I wonder if that's true.
What?
I've never seen them around other areas in Galaxy's Edge that's not part of their timeline. I've never seen Chewbacca over by.
He's in all of
He's
them.
okay.
He's in
He's in
every
all of
single
them.
one.
He's in
Like
every single one.
C-3PO and R2-D2, they were
He's
in every single one.
almost. He's not in the
Oh
original.
yeah,
He's not. He's not in the prequels,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Well, actually, he's in the Clone Wars.
He's in the prequels.
No, he's in the Clone Wars. Oh yeah, he's in Revenge of the Sith, and he's also in Clone Wars too. He's in Clone Wars too.
Okay.
Holy cow! So he's in
Okay.
like almost every single.
Well, again, I'm living vicariously through her.
And
Okay.
I forget stuff.
I consider myself a fan, but you're a super fan.
I'm a super duper Galaxy fan. I'm sorry, he helps.
Right.
Yoda, I forgot. Okay. You just need to remind me, Mom.
But now we heard that they, I think last year or around or sometime, that they are no longer doing the launch bay. They're not doing the characters, or at least not the Star Wars characters.
Yes, they're actually changing it into like this new Disney thing, so they're not having the launch bay anymore. So there's like this person that I love, and they talk about all like things Disney and theme parks, and he actually talks about like the new things that are happening. And so you should go check one of his videos that are saying new into 2026, because there's a video that he actually talks about that there's no going to be the Star Wars launch bay.
It'll now be the magic of Disney
and
animation.
they're gonna have the so in, I forgot where, but there's like the Disney animation studio where there's like a big Mickey hat, which you love. That's the big blue one with all the stars and everything, with the Mickey ears. That's their animation studio. And also there's like this Disney short that they actually have all the characters or all the photos of like all the animation come to life for like the 100 years. And so they're all taking a big photo with everybody, so it's kind of cool, and you see what's inside the actual Disney animation studio. Well, they're coming that to life, and they're having their new section over there. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a whole cool thing, so everything.
Very nice. Very nice. So, yeah, so we go there, right? We're there at Disney. We're going to multiple parks.
Yes. I like all the parks.
Yeah. We were basically we did all of them. But we only did Magic Kingdom was twice. Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember that.
We always do Magic Kingdom twice.
Epcot was nice.
Yeah.
And this was the first time you were going around, right? This is the first time you going down to Disney.
Yes.
Right.
And also Florida in general.
In Florida in general.
What I know.
Yep. And so we had that experience. You were still into princesses.
I was still.
Okay.
But I feel like now if somebody asked me this question, who's your favorite princess? Princess Leia. She's a princess.
Yeah.
And she's also a senator-ish. So yeah, she's my favorite.
And she's
princess.
A commander and a general.
And a general.
Yep. So many different roles, right?
Yeah. But she's mainly a princess. Like if you get like a Black Series or a Funko Pop, it would say Princess Leia Organa, or just like Leia. Actually, it's not Organa. It's Skywalker.
A lot of different names.
Yeah.
So we come back home. Okay. 3 months later.
The
pandemic.
And then I saw the Clone Wars and the Rebels. And I'm like, ooh, this is cartoon.
But even before you saw the Rebels, right? Before you saw the Rebels, it was Clone Wars, right? And you started watching Clone Wars.
I loved Ahsoka. Because I loved everything. There was a movie that was the Clone Wars. And Star Wars the Clone Wars. And it just showed Ahsoka first being there. And I saw that. And I'm like, who's this new character? I like her. And I learned about that people didn't like the character Ahsoka, and they didn't like her and all like.
But did you know this?
No.
No, you learned this later on.
Yes, later on.
But you started watching.
Yeah.
around the time pandemic, that's when Disney Plus, right? It was sort of around the same
Yeah.
time that Disney Plus was coming out, and it came out, and we had bought the subscription to it. You started streaming Clone Wars. You came across Clone
Yeah,
Wars
because
September 2019, November of 2019. Disney Plus came out. Okay.
so it came
So,
out
and we had
before.
actually pre-ordered, right? We were part of D23. Mommy signed us up for D23, and
But you were D23?
D23 we signed up.
I really want to go to D23, like the
Yeah.
actual
Yeah.
D23 and also the Star Celebration.
We're going to have to, yeah. So we're going to have to go to a D23 event so that we can then talk about it here on our podcast
But
in a
also
future
the
episode.
the D23 actually shows like what's going to come up and all of like the new things.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I love to learn all about this and maybe seeing some of my friends. Is I think that
Mhm.
my friends go there too. So
Sure.
Mm.
And right, so we get once they launch, we started streaming. Mommy bought through D23. They had this offer where it was like buy 1 year and get another year free, which was very smart marketing wise.
Mhm.
And so you were streaming, and we didn't, we were paying attention to what you were watching, but we really weren't necessarily sitting down and we weren't engaging with it until a couple of episodes went through, because all we know is the movie. We know live action, right? We didn't really see, I mean, maybe we saw a holiday special. I think remember seeing some kind of holiday animation, but
it wasn't a holiday.
with R2 and 3CPO, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
There was what was the one with the Wookiees? And this little Wookiee saw like this animated thing with Boba Fett, Luke, and everybody. I remember.
Okay.
But
I'm thinking it's the
that was
same. I'm not sure.
And I think it was like no, it was the Life Day. It was the Life Day. Life Day.
Yes.
Thing with the Wookiees.
Yeah, but I'm talking about so an animated series in 1985. Yes. Okay. So I remember seeing that, but for us, what was in our mind was that Star Wars was only live action. That was, at least to me, like when somebody said Star Wars, I would associate that with the original trilogy. And right, there were comics of it. We were not. No, yeah, we were not into comic books. We didn't go to Comic Cons. We didn't go. That's
yeah, but
that was not.
We're gonna get to that, but
right.
Well, because of the pandemic, that's how we got into Comic Cons. Really, that was the cause because the pandemic shut down, and then we saw.
Well, that's going to be our next episode. So our next episode, episode 2,
is going to be
of
the
this
con
podcast
life.
Is going to be talking about how you got into cons.
Okay. Title: yes. Con life. The con life. Getting into the con life.
Getting into the con life. Okay, I like that.
So this one is the introduction.
The breakthrough. Yes. So the breakthrough into the fandom. Okay, so tell me about what is Clone Wars for anyone that has not seen it. Right? Anyone, any family that's possibly, watching this that has young ones that maybe themselves never heard about the Clone Wars,
or
never
get like 30s or people like that.
So what is the Clone Wars?
So the Clone Wars is the series where it's all cartoons and they're all different missions that the Jedi face. And there's also usually some people think that Anakin doesn't have a Padawan, but he does. He has this Torguda, right? Ahsoka Tano, and she is just a youngling that's snippy, and so they have these they in like this movie they actually came up with nicknames for each other, Snips and Sky Guy, and so they're just like a comedy show. They're always like, but they work together on different missions. They work together, and I call them the Three Musketeers because there's Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka, and they're like usually they go to missions all together, and it's really fun to see them doing the missions and work together. But also, and the Clone Wars is between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. So you can see all the different costume, because through all the seasons of different costumes as they get older, especially Ahsoka, you can see how she gets older and older, but also there's different like hair designs and different outfits for Obi-Wan and Anakin, and they just look so cool in animation, and they sound really like Matt Lantern and James Arnold Taylor sounds just like Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor.
Mhm.
They do ish.
Well 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 well, James Arnold sounds a lot like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
So much so that Ewan McGregor's daughter posted on Instagram for Father's Day a post and used the voiceover of Obi-Wan Kenobi, except it wasn't her father voicing it. It was James Arnold Taylor. And so I recently heard James Arnold Taylor talking about this on the Pot of Rebellion when he was a guest on there. But I thought that was so funny. But yes, I do think that there were similarities. But
Mhm.
those people that are listening to this, and if you've never seen
It's a really
Clone
good
Wars,
family
it's
show,
really
and also
yep.
just for like grown-ups that are like not even like they're a kid at heart, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the animation did go
Mhm.
deeper. I think it filled a lot of the
Yeah.
backstory that was there. I think it was incredible. We saw a documentary where Dave Filoni was talking about how he received a call from Lucas Animation and he thought somebody was pranking him because he was like, "There's no Lucas Animation. What are you talking about?" And he actually said it wasn't a documentary, it was an interview. But then he apparently like hung up and was just like, "Yeah, okay." And then like they called him right back and they're like, "No, we're really from Lucas and we want you to, you know, to do the animation." But so if maybe families that are out there that have seen the Ahsoka series, the
Yeah,
live
the
action
Ahsoka. So
series,
that actually ties into Rebels a lot, and also Clone Wars too.
but if you look, Hayden Christensen portrays Anakin in a flashback, and he's in right? Isn't he in Clone Wars? He's
Yes,
in the
in one
Clone
in the
Wars,
flashbacks when
right?
they in. So you do actually have to. I would say, watch the Clone Wars, then watch Star Wars Rebels. We have to get to that, and then
Yeah,
watch the Ahsoka series. If you already seen the Ahsoka series and you get a little confused and you don't really like that, even though you saw, like you have to watch the animations first.
right. Yes, it
Yeah.
fills in. Yeah, yeah. Not so much confused, but it's. I mean, look, I really like all of the Star Wars products that they've put out. Um, Life Day, I don't know. I don't know about Life Day, but
Yeah.
the celebrate what is that? The
The
holiday.
holiday.
Yeah.
That that was.
Anyway, it's so memorable. I know exactly what the name was.
You do not. You do not.
But it was great because to me, it was this new character, right? We know from all the live action, we know pretty much Yoda,
Yeah.
who was in it. We know Anakin.
Mace Windu.
We knew Mace Windu. We knew the clones. So
Except for
in a way,
Captain Rex.
right. But we kind of knew these characters, but all of a sudden they introduced this Ahsoka Tano, right? So tell me a little bit more about your love and how when Ahsoka came, how did you relate to Ahsoka? How did you? Because I know that you were, for some time you were just all about Ahsoka. You still are, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, but how did your love for this character and what was the meaning of this character for you?
Well, I can for the first when you first saw her, I'm like, wow, she's a little kid and she's fighting this big war, and I kind of feel sorry for her that she has to fight and like protect people, but she also can get hurt because I know that a lot of Jedi can get killed, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, like what's gonna happen to her, like
Hmm.
what are they gonna make her do in this animation, and once like all these missions I kind of like fall in love with her character, and she's like brave and also she wants to protect people, and she's really kind and sweet, and she like loves everybody in nature and all that.
Yeah.
And in one of the episodes, she actually turns to the dark side. So I kind of like that.
Uh-huh.
But that did kill her. And then she had to go with this daughter that was all light side. And then there's this little bird called Morai that in Star Wars Rebels, you really see Morai with Ahsoka and everything. And that's why Ahsoka, I feel like she cannot die because when she fell off the cliff, she went into the world between worlds.
And so now that is the Ahsoka series.
That's the Ahsoka series,
okay,
yes.
where she's all grown up.
Yes, she's all
Right.
grown up.
So, yeah, were you excited once they made the Ahsoka series?
Yes, I was really because I loved the character from Rebels because Ahsoka was actually in Rebels after the Clone Wars. And you can see her grow up and now she's more powerful. And I love that she has her own show. Even though you saw her in The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, those are just little like clips of her how she got older. And also her leg who got longer too and taller. And so actually she was a master of Sabine. And that's pretty cool. And you can see her go into like these she's trying to go into this galaxy to find Thrawn and everything. And also Ezra was in that galaxy too. And so almost everybody like Hera and Sabine was like, wait, are you going to save Ezra? And she's like, I want to stop a war from coming. Yeah, they didn't even know like any Star Wars. Like my classmates didn't know Star Wars at all. Like when I said like, oh, Anakin Skywalker, they were like, what? Who? Where? I'm like, seriously? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I found interesting too, is how, a lot of the kids in your class, right? It's all Minecraft and all these other things, right?
Video
Fortnite.
games.
Not, your generation is really, to me, is not really into
They're
Star
also into
Wars.
like TikTok and all those other stuff. And
Yeah. But with, exactly. But Star Wars, and I find that interesting, but we love that you have this love for Star Wars. So looking back at the Ahsoka character, right? When she was first introduced, I believe Ashley said that she was like 14, that that Ahsoka Tano
was like
when
14.
it was 14.
Yeah.
Now, you're 10. Can you imagine like 4 years from now that you have to learn how to fight, how to use the Force, how to, did she started out with one lightsaber?
And then she went to 2.
And then she went to 2, right? So
and also her colors changed too.
And the colors and the lightsabers changed, right? So as she grew and as she became older and she learned more, what did that mean to you? What did you see in her growth and her progression?
That she like her powers got stronger and she like really got more mature because in the beginning of the Clone Wars, he's like, oh, I still want to fight. I still want to get them and everything. And they're like, no, we have to return. And she was like, oh, come on. But then when she gets older, she's like listening to them and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think one of the things for me with that character was anyone that is being trained, right, to use the Force, right, because they don't get the Force is everything around them, right? And I think that there's a lot of morals with that as well. But one of the things, for me as a parent, is that when you look at the Star Wars and you look at the different episodes, almost every episode that's there, whether it's the movie or whether it's a animation, there's like a moral behind it. There's things that they want you to reflect on and have it come back at you. And you think about Masters of the Universe, yes, Orko, right? Yeah. And G.I. Joe was the same way, right? And I grew up watching the A-Team. But what was to me is I think one of my best episodes from the Clone Wars that I will always sort of remember is later on, right? And again, if you haven't seen this, definitely recommend you do.
Yeah.
But it has been out for a very long time, right? I
Huh.
think it's been they shot, I believe it was 7 episodes over a course of 12 years. Um 7 seasons, sorry, not episodes, 7 seasons over the course of 12 years. And when just even being a grown up, right? To
Mm-hmm.
me, even being a grown up, you see a goal, you see something you want to do, you something you want to achieve, and you work hard to get there. And so what I think was to me one of the episodes that moved me the most was when there was a certain time where the Jedi Council was accusing her of something
Oh, that
and they didn't
one.
back her and they didn't support her. And when they fought hard and Anakin fought hard because Anakin was her master, right?
And he had attachments too.
And right,
Yeah.
and he was conflicted with his emotions and he had to really clear his head of emotions to be able to look at things from a clear perspective and to sit there and say, okay, let me really find out what the facts are because I'm starting to believe that Ahsoka didn't do this. But fast forward to where she's cleared, right? They have evidence that she did not do what they were accusing her of doing.
But they had a choice if she still wanted to leave
If she
or if she
still
wanted
wanted
him.
to now become from a Padawan, if she wanted to truly become a Jedi, right? And she turned it down and she said no because she had self reflection and she was just like, this is not, this is what I wanted. This is what I've been working years for. This is what I've been battling for. This is what I've been training for. And when it came down to it, she reflected and said, this is not the best decision for me. That this is not, that even though this is what I wanted to do, I realize that I need to go a different direction. I need to go a different route. So to me, walking away from that, seeing that, I take that and I reflect that in real life. Even though I say, hey, I want to do this and I want to make sure I achieve that. But then as I get closer and I see, you know what, maybe this isn't the best route, it allows me to reflect back and say, hey, you know what? There's probably other better options out there for me.
That's what I kind of do if I'm testing at school. I kind of like circle my answer or like say, "Oh, this is like the right answer." But then after like a few other questions, I'm like, "You know what? That might be wrong." And let me do another one. And sometimes I can see that the one that like I originally picked was wrong and then the one that I second picked was right. And so I'm like, "Okay, it was good that I picked it." And I'll always like try again.
Right.
And always like think, maybe do it like another answer. Like always try to think and see what is the best answer or what is the best way to do. Or like if you're on like a hike, you're like, which is the best route to go, like this way or that way.
Right.
And you
Right.
really like to explore and maybe like figure out what do you really want to do with your life. Which
Hmm.
route or which goal are you trying to do? Because there might be goals in your life that you want to do, just like Ahsoka, how she'd been working for years to be a Jedi, and then she's like, maybe this is not the right path for me. Even though I accomplished so many goals in my life, I
Hmm.
maybe want to do something else because if she like wants to go to different planets and stuff and explore them, she did on different missions. So maybe she's like, you know what, I want to stop and I want to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. When you think that your support system, that the individuals that you rely on to back you and support you, turn their back and they try to isolate themselves from you. They try to sit there and say, hey, look, you know, right. Um, you really get to see who your true loved ones are. Yeah. So
Yeah,
when, yeah.
cause first, actually, yeah, it was Ahsoka that turned him a little bit, like, angry, and then after he, like, got mad, like in the Revenge of the Sith, that's how you can see. So really, the walk away of Ahsoka really made him be more stronger with like the dark side, and that's how he has so much hatred and so much power.
Yeah.
When he's like Vader.
Right. And this is all in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Right?
It really shows like the attachments to Ahsoka, and that's how like triggered, I'm really mad at the council for letting Ahsoka go and everything.
Right. And I'll tell you, what we were seeing, right? And we were streaming, right? In 2020, when everything was shut down, you were started looking at the Clone Wars, right? And then I believe we started it over, right? Because didn't Mommy and I, now we wanted to see it. So you had seen 1 or 2 episodes, I think.
But also after the Clone Wars, we actually saw the Rebels too.
Right, but before we even get to the Rebels, right? I want to stay on this because and this is why I want to stay with the Clone Wars is we started watching it and we started streaming it, right? Couldn't really go out, right? Things were on sort of lockdown. We had to do what we did, right? We worked during the day, but then we were home. We weren't going out. There was no shopping. There was no eating out really or anything. So we had a lot of time in our hands to be able to catch up in being able to look at all of these. And the love that you had for Ahsoka Tano and what was incredible, and this is going to lead into our next episode that we will release right after this one, that Mommy, right? Again, we did not grow up going to cons. We did not go to Comic Cons. And so
Mommy actually, my mom, saw that Matt Lanter and Ashley Eckstein were going to Rhode Island Comic Con.
And who is Ashley and Matt Lanter?
Matt Lanter is the voice actor of Anakin Skywalker in the Clone Wars and maybe some Rebels too. Because it can be hologram and all that.
Okay.
Flashbacks. And also, Ashley Eckstein is the voice of Ahsoka Tano that's in the Star Wars Clone Wars and also Rebels.
Right. And what did she see? What did she find out?
Well, she found out that they were going to Rhode Island Comic Con, and and that's in Providence. And we have family that lives in Providence. So my mom bought tickets for one day to see them, and we waited online for hours to see them.
All right. But we'll talk about that in our next episode. Right. So definitely, let's thank everyone for watching this, seeing it all the way through. Yeah, we're done.
Can we talk about Rebels?
We'll talk about Rebels. We'll have plenty of time. We'll talk about Rebels in another episode.
So how are we going to end this? Because this is our first episode.
Right, because this is our first
Macsrebo
episode.
Macsrebo and Macsrebo's dad sign off.
I think that's classic. I think you have to do that. That's your signature.
That's my signature.
Right?
I have to do it.
But thank you, everyone who sat through.
Or drove through, because sometimes we usually listen to podcasts.
Well, they're still sitting probably if they were listening to this in their car on their commute.
Yeah.
But we want to thank everyone. This was our first of many episodes that we will be doing. Right.
And if you like what we are talking about, and if you like some of the fandoms that we like, maybe like what would you do? Would you like follow, subscribe on like any like podcasts?
Well,
things?
Definitely for them to let us know that they liked it, that they they appreciated it. Again, we're doing this to tell everyone the love that she has and the core memories as a family.
And how I really got you guys to be a bigger Star Wars fan than you are.
Exactly. And we've had many over the last 4 years. We have had many experiences. Actually, what are we? We're 2006. We're over 5 years. If you think about 2019 is when it kind of kicked off. And then towards the end, I believe, of 2020 is when we went to our first con, which we'll talk about in our next episode.
Yeah, in the next episode, we're going to talk about first, in the next episode, we're going to talk about Star Wars Rebels.
we will get to Rebels.
I need
I
to talk
love it.
about
I love
Rebels.
it that you love Rebels. I love it that you love all
I feel
of this
like
stuff.
actually, can I just talk about a little bit about Rebels? It got to do with the Clone Wars.
All right, 30 seconds.
Okay, so when I saw the Rebels in their animation, I saw that it was different than the Clone Wars, and I really didn't like about that. But as the episodes, like as more episodes released and I started watching it, I remember that you really liked the animation and how it was different. And then as like the episodes got on and I started watching them, I kind of liked the story about it. Even though it was different, I still loved it.
Great.
Okay,
Yes.
so now we should end it.
Okay. So
Okay.
stay tuned for episode 2.
Yeah, stay
which
tuned.
will talk about how we got into the con life. Okay.
Yes, our con life.
All right. And we'll just talk about the first one we went to.
Yeah, the
we
first
might
one.
spend a whole episode on
The whole
on
maybe
that.
different episodes are different cons.
Right. Because absolutely. Because
Or maybe if we have
the cons are very different.
They
Cons are very different. We've gone,
as I talked about before, if you really like, because I'm talking about cons, and they're really nice to see celebrities or voice actors or different artists, and like if you love to dress up and cosplay, and really like there's different cosplayers out there too, and so you could take pictures with some people that are dressed up as your favorite characters for some things, like because if because I'm a fan of Ahsoka, they could be Ahsoka. Oh, and then we are going to talk about it before, but there could be different Ahsoka cosplayers in there. So start as a small con and then build up throughout the years.
You're missing a major thing about cons.
What?
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 Oh, bring a chair online because they're like hours.
No.
What?
Oh, Justin and so many others will be very disappointed.
What?
Why would Justin be disappointed that you're not saying the thing that we really look forward to at every con?
Oh, yeah, the 501st.
The 501st.
The 501st, the Rebel Legion, and the lightsaber.
Stay tuned because we're going to have an episode on all of them.
Yes, we have to.
We have to. I cannot believe you forgot to mention that.
I'm sorry if we send this out to everybody that we are friends at. Don't send this to Justin because he's gonna be really mad. But also send the other video when I had the
sure
headbands because I was a Wampa, so I would like that too. So this is Macsrebo and Macsrebo's dad signing off from Galaxy far, far away. You need to do it too. Retake. Okay, let's do it.
That's it. Blended.
No, I like it when you do it too.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right.
Retake.
Okay.
Number 2. This is Macsrebo and
Macsrebo's dad
signing off from Galaxy far, far away.
High five.
Woo! I love this episode. This was great. Oh, okay.